Thanks for staying with us here on Sunrise. At this time of the year, many of us experience stress and anxiety in our lives for various reasons. Vast majority of health problems are caused or influenced by stress. Therefore, it is important to understand how stress and anxiety affect your body. To learn more effective stress management techniques, we are joined this morning by Dr. Hanan Bushkin, who is a psychologist from the Anxiety and Trauma Clinic. Give us a call and ask the doctor any questions you may have on 011-447-1742 or 1620. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for being here.
Now, I must ask you, let's start off the bat, stress and anxiety. Is there a difference? What is the difference between the two?
So it's actually both words are synonymous with each other. Stress is something that we feel on a physiological level, on a cognitive level, and anxiety is pretty much the same thing. But stress is something that people use as to describe how they feel. I'm so stressed at work, I'm so stressed with my spouse, I'm so stressed with life, I'm so stressed with kids, I'm so stressed with many different aspects. People don't really use the word I'm anxious. Anxiety just seems like a much more of an intense version of stress. But they're synonymous, they're very similar.
A lot of people would feel like stress causes anxiety. Is that the case as well? But it's not.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's pretty much the same thing. Stress and anxiety. Just anxiety just seems like a much more of an intense version of what stress is about.
Okay. Now, at this time of year, when you look at just after the festive season, are people more relaxed coming into the new year, or are the pressures of January, does it, off the bat, the stress is there? What do you find at this time of year? What are people's generally the stress levels like?
So we find actually the stress levels are much higher towards the end of the year, just before the holiday season, where people suddenly start to question, am I in the right career? What about the holidays? Who I'm going to spend the holidays with? I don't have anybody in my life that I can spend this time with. But during the new year, again, a new beginning, people don't have goals, people don't have a sense of purpose, people don't have direction. And the stress does go up, especially when you don't have direction in life, a sense of purpose.
So is there a time of year where stress levels are at a low? What's the lowest? Is there such a thing?
Yeah, life is funny, it doesn't matter where you are, who you're about. Life has its ups and downs. There are moments in life when you feel, sure, I'm getting it right, this is great, I'm moving in the right direction, there's a sense of purpose. And there's times in life when you go, oh, I'm not getting this right, I'm off track, this is not working for me. So stress goes up and down, which is very, very normal. People think that your life should just be a high or a level of like, I'm getting it every single minute of every single day. And the truth is, it doesn't work that way. Life does ups and downs.
Peaks and troughs.
Yeah, all the time, and it's normal. It's absolutely normal to have the highs, to have the lows, to feel you're in control, to feel that you're not in control, but being able to manage it, which is really the key.
Now let's talk about managing stress, because stress obviously affects your well-being, physical well-being even. Tell us a bit about that. How does stress affect you physically?
So the first thing to note is that stress and anxiety is incredibly normal feeling. It's a protective mechanism. It's our brain telling us that we're not in a situation where we feel in control. We're in either a dangerous situation, or we feel our adrenaline should be up, and therefore we should defend ourselves or protect ourselves. So if I'm confronted with a situation, let's just say an angry dog that's about to attack me, I should feel anxious, because that increases my adrenaline, increases my cortisol. It enables me to protect and survive the situation. But the problem comes in when stress and anxiety isn't reasonable. I feel the same symptoms, but for no reason. So the example that I give is when I see an angry dog, that's okay to feel stressed. But when I see a chihuahua, it's not okay to feel stressed. And when people feel stressed, when they're confronted by things that are unreasonable, that's when it becomes a problem. The signs and symptoms that you should be looking out for are increased heart rate, palpitations, thought racing on a physical level. You're feeling that need to run away or to escape or to avoid the situation. But only watch out when when you're feeling out of control, when you're feeling those symptoms for no good reason and it's affecting your life.
So what are some of the immediate actions you can take in order to basically relieve yourself from the stress? What are some of the tips you would give people?
Okay, so the first basic thing that I tell people is look at the trio of magic, which is your sleep. Make sure your sleep is good, 7 to 8 hours of good solid sleep, because the first thing that goes when somebody's feeling stressed is their thoughts starts racing, especially at time before bed. So they feel that they're not sleeping well, or they struggle to fall asleep, or they keep on waking up during the night. Sleep is number one. You look at your diet. The second thing that goes when people feel anxious is they either start eating too much sugars, carbs to make themselves feel better, or they stop eating, they don't have an appetite. So look at your sleep, look at your diet, and look at, obviously, exercise. Okay. So those are the first three things that you should be looking for in order to start getting yourself into a state of feeling anchored, feeling in control.
So when you speak about disorders, I don't know if you get a stress disorder or anxiety disorder. Tell us a bit about that.
Okay, so when you're feeling anxiety or stress, you know, I'm stressed at work, I'm stressed with my boss, I'm stressed with my kids, I'm stressed with life in general. When you're managing it, okay, you can call it stress and anxiety. But when it starts affecting your life to the point that it's making you less than, when it's actually interfering with your daily functioning, interfering with your interaction, interfering with your ability to concentrate, it's interfering with your ability to function as the best husband that you can, or the best wife, or the best father, or the best worker, when it starts interfering in your life, that's when we call it a disorder. It's a problem. It's an ongoing, recurring issue or an emotional state in your life that makes you feel out of control, that makes you less. The moment it makes you less, you're not functioning at the level, and only you know whether you're functioning at an optimal level. Sure. And when you're not functioning at an optimal level, then you know it's an issue. That's something that you should look for.
You should address.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, maybe this is a bit of a controversial question, but racially, how, along the racial lines, when it comes to psychology and actually seeing a psychologist, seeking the help of a psychologist, how open are the various races to actually seeking help?
So I find that in my practice, it largely depends on a cultural norm. Some cultures are much more open to it. As a matter of fact, they see it as a privilege, and saying that, oh, if you don't see a psychologist, what's wrong with you? Some cultures are very much distant from it. It's seen as a sign of weakness, especially amongst men, never mind amongst cultures, amongst men. But I feel that over the last 10, 15 years, the shift is changing. It's becoming a much more appropriate, much more acceptable thing to do, especially since we don't have all the answers. You know, if your car's broken, you're not going to fix it yourself. You're going to take it to an expert that will fix it. If you need certain expertise when you need to go to a surgeon, you're not going to fix yourself. You're going to go to somebody that has the expertise to fix it. And the same thing with our mind and emotions. When we feel out of control and we don't have the tools to manage it, to deal with it, don't try and fix it yourself. You don't have the tools, you don't know how to do it. Go to an expert, go to somebody that knows how to do it. And the thing with anxiety, I need to mention, there's a way out of it. We've got treatment, some very powerful treatment methods and techniques. Unlike 20 years ago where it was pretty much a guessing game, now we know exactly what needs to be done in order to treat anxiety and stress and depression. So you don't have to deal with it yourself. Go to an expert, go to somebody that knows the techniques, knows how to what to do in order to get you on the right track.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate your time. That was Dr. Hanan Bushkin letting us know exactly what you can do, and it is okay to seek help. He is from a psychologist from the Anxiety and Trauma Clinic. More to come here on Sunrise, so do stay tuned.